Hello everybody, welcome back once again to the Chrono Cross walkthrough. We are starting out here at the end of time. I believe we're going to make a trip into Terra Tower finally. And I don't know, I would say we'll probably accomplish somewhere around half of it, at least a third. We'll get at least a third of it done. Terra Tower is actually fairly large. And being that I was fairly rusty when I took this footage, I would say that it probably is going to take a little bit more time than it should. There's a bit of backtracking here and there. So again, I guess keep that in mind. To be honest, though, Terra Tower really shouldn't have taken this long to complete. But that's okay. I'm over it. All right, so our first incursion into Terra Tower here, it's actually not going to be long. I believe actually it's this next screen. There's the first boss. So I think Terra Tower ends up being, I'll say seven stars. I think that's right. Yeah. There's basically one boss of every element color, and then one more boss, and then you leave. So yeah, but again, I think I mentioned this in the last video too, but once you enter the Terra Tower, you're not stuck there. You can always leave, and you know, if you feel like, or if you missed something, or if you want to maybe make a new weapon, you know, rainbow weapon, if you pick up a rainbow shell here or there. Actually, I don't remember if there's any rainbow shells in here now that I think about it. I feel like there should be, though. I mean, it's basically the final dungeon in the game, so I feel like there's got to be at least one or two. I guess we'll see. I know there are a couple of weapons, though, that you can potentially break down and get rainbow shells from, as well as some shiny materials. I believe there's a spectral glove in here somewhere. I think there's the pack of lies, though I'm not sure if that actually breaks down to a... You know what, why don't we find out? Being that I've got my game loaded up. I guess, honestly, though, I should speak a little bit about... I think this is Animotor? No, sorry. This is Terrator. Okay. As far as, like, stealing elements and stuff, I wouldn't bother. I just, you know, to be honest, there's just better places in the game to get, or to trap elements from and whatnot. These things do have brooches, though, and I would definitely recommend at least stealing those if you're bringing... Fargo with, you know, again, you might as well. We're here. And actually, yeah, I should have mentioned this before too, but if you've got the yellow plate is extremely useful in this battle. You could see there how much Omega Yellow did there to Surge. I mean, that does a substantial amount of damage, and you know, if you equip somebody like Surge with the yellow plate, he would have absorbed that damage instead. Now, for me, to be honest, though, I think that would have been a better choice on Glenn, just because he's a green innate, so he would have taken much more damage than Surge would have. But yeah, anyway, like I said, that's something that you probably definitely want to equip. There's really no reason not to if you've got it. Here I'm just gonna make a trip out. I've actually got a cut though, so I'll probably just walk up to the boat and then save, or I guess just the save point. And then here's my cut. So like I always do, after the Terrator fight there, I actually left, did my random encounters to get my HP up and whatnot, and to get the mini levels, I guess you call them, and then I just head back. Now that. You know, again, if that's not something that you've been doing, don't worry about it. We're gonna head to the left here, though. First, there's not much that we can do in this room until we get a little bit farther. So there is a chest, though, all the way around here. So we'll grab that quickly before we move on. I think this ends up being like a nostrum or something. Yep, okay. So whether or not that's actually useful to you or not is up to you. I'm trying to check here on what we were talking about earlier with the... Okay, so the spectral glove, obviously, if you come across that, which it's not exactly hidden in here, but if you come across that, obviously that's one of the items. So you could technically break that down if you aren't using anybody with a glove or that can equip it. You know, you could use that and break it down into you know, a rainbow shell and the other items. There's the waist pad. Those are a defensive item. Again, I don't know. I don't know if I can really recommend equipping those. I guess if you feel like you've got a character that has really low defense or something, you can. That's one of the only places in the game to get those. Not the only place to get them, but I would say the easiest place to get them, like easiest repeatable. I believe there's a one-time battle that you can get one from. It might have been one of the salt and pepper battles, if I remember correctly. But yeah, anyways, if that's something that you want to try for, then go right ahead. I would not recommend coming this way. This ends up being, I think, actually, I don't know if I can say this is a dead end. That might not be accurate. I don't remember. I don't remember how all this or these areas connect together. I'm trying to find these other... Pack of Lies. Okay, so the Pack of Lies does not break down into Rainbow Shell, which is one of the items that we'll be able to get. Yeah, okay, so this does look like a dead end here. Maybe I'm... Or maybe I just didn't explore far enough. What else is there? That might be it. Yeah, I think that's it. Okay. So, Pack of Lies, the beta carotene is one of the other items that you, I think, obtain in here. That actually can be broken down into a rainbow shell. So if you're not using Janice, again, you can, because I believe she's the only one that can actually equip that item. But you could then break that down instead, you know, get a rainbow shell as well as some shiny materials out of it, and then actually, you know, make a piece of armor, I guess, if you wanted to, or a weapon for someone. And we'll come across those actually in a little bit here, not too much longer. Here we've got another chest. I think this is another nostrum. Yep. And I think we don't want to go this way. Oh, okay. So yeah, I could have actually continued on using that other path and then just ran up this way. It looks like anyway, because it looks like all the watery area is all connected. So yeah, I actually didn't have to go back up there. Okay. Well, good to know, I guess. So yeah, so this, it looks to me anyway like all of these areas are actually connected, or from that other screen that we were on. And then this area here, I think this is a dead end. This doesn't lead anywhere. Yeah. I don't know what I'm doing here. Yeah, this is a dead end too. Alright, let's head down. And I know at some point here I get a little turned around. This, I think I entered into a battle and then I didn't remember which direction I came from. Which I think is right up here. Probably this next battle. I would say, oh no, okay, looks like we're good to go. And then this little area breaks away. And leads us here. which we then just want to head to the left. Okay, so we've got some weird face thing on this wall. When I was still a human, I was locked up here and have been here ever since. This tower is a fortress belonging to the ancient reptites, a symbol of revenge. This last part there. The defeat of fate, the seal is broken, and the tower surfaced. In the eyes of the dragons, we humans are the foes. So yeah, definitely confirmation of what we already knew. A brain that has developed abnormally to 3 times the original size in the span of 3 million years. We humans have evolved at an enormous rate because of our contact with Lavos' flame. In a sense, mankind is Lavos' offspring. We humans are extraneous to this planet. Now, how will you fight Surge? How? I mean, probably use the Master Immune like we've been using and just decimating everything since forever. Since we got it. Does that answer your question, face on the wall? Alright, let's continue on here. Now we're finally getting into... Yeah, and I think this is where No, I'm still wrong. I keep thinking I'm... Alright, I vaguely remember... not remember, I guess, kind of going the wrong way and doing a little backtracking, but maybe it's this. Maybe it's after this fight. Alright, so what are these things? Actually, I'm not even going to attempt it yet. I need to get a better view of the name. Mixomicite? Something like that. Alright, so let's see what these guys have as a pillage or for a steal. Swipe. Winged shoes. I think that increases evasion. So, not really sure how useful that is going to be, but... Huh, interesting. Excuse me. Yeah, so again, I don't know. I wouldn't say the winged shoes are all that at least they're not useful to me. If you have been building your character's evasion, I guess that might be useful. Those enemies there, though, if you noticed, they dropped the angel charms, and those are extremely useful. You can break those down into shiny materials. I believe it's the, whatever the white element. I think it's the shiny salt. So very, very useful. And what was that out there? Was that the spectral glove or was that the pack of lies? I missed it. My bad. And then this is the Defender Plus out here. This is an extremely, extremely good defensive item there. Oh, and I fell. And now I'm going the wrong way. Yeah, here I'm going the wrong way. Womp womp. So, am I gonna notice yet? Nope. Okay. I didn't even realize that I had swapped directions. So my bad. Anyways. What was I talking about there? The angel charms. So they are incredibly useful, like I said, for at least, or at the very least, for kind of crushing down and making the shiny salts out of, and then thus you could, collect those and make rainbow equipment out of. Here I tried to avoid this thing, but just could not quite do it. The Woot item or enemy here, these have a really, really useful steal at this point in the game. I believe it's called the third eye. And the reason why that's useful is it's one of the best items for increasing your character's accuracy. Now, if you've... Yeah, and I should have stole from it instead of these Miximiotes or whatever. I totally butchered the name, I'm sure. So it's basically a direct upgrade from like the sight scope, and the sight scope's actually a really good item as well. So the progression is kind of like the silver loop, and then sight scope, and then third eye. So like I said, you know, if you probably number one, if you didn't use or abuse the Dragoon's Glory glitch, I would say, or you know, get multiples of those. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, back on in my my level 7 tech guide, there's a little area where when I'm getting Viper's tech, I kind of outline or show you how to get multiple Dragoon's Glories. And the reason why those are so good is the Dragoon's Glory increases accuracy, attack power, and magic power. So very, very good, useful item. And normally you can only get one of them per playthrough, but abusing that glitch, you can get a lot of them. So, but again, if you decided not to use that, then another really good way to get your accuracy up is by using those third eyes. Now, as you progress and get more stars, and especially in like New Game Plus, your characters will eventually get really, really good, or for the most part, get really good accuracy stats, and they will become less useful. But for the time being, I still really like those. So, alright, let's... Oh, yeah, here I'm gonna at least attempt to steal. So let's see here if I end up getting one, and oh, there it is. So that's what I was yapping about, the third eye. Again, very, very useful items, especially if you've got a character that's got really, really poor accuracy. And you can even use more than one, so that's another pretty interesting thing about those. I don't know how many characters can really benefit that much from like stacking them, but I can think of a couple characters that have really, really poor accuracy, Mojo being one of them. Alright, bunch more angel charms as well as an earth charm there. So all kinds of nice items there for breaking down. So this is actually another, actually a decent place to farm for certain shiny materials, just because you actually wouldn't have to, you know, summon in order to get those. You can just kill off the enemies and do it that way. All right, so there I'm actually replacing a sight scope there with the third eye, and then you can see actually the Defender Plus there a little bit. What does it raise? I think it raises the defense, magic defense, and your evasion. So it's kind of like the opposite of a Dragoon's Glory, I guess. Like the Dragoon's Glory is incredibly offense oriented, and the Defender Plus, which is, you know, I guess exactly what you'd expect, is the defensive item of the two. And alright, what do we have here? Rainbow shell! Alright, so there are some rainbow shells in here. That's a dead end back there. Ah, no, get away! Get away, no! And then this guy's gonna camp us. Alright, fine. Sometimes if you wait around a little while, they will they'll walk away or float away, but oftentimes I just get annoyed and fight them instead of waiting. Okay, crunch. That Master Munis. Oh, awesome. Love that thing. I don't think this is a good idea. Strengthen, yeah. I think we've got enough of those. While they are useful, I've got plenty. Miss, 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 no! Stop missing! Stop it! Okay. Bunch of nostrums, not too bad. All right. These battles, to be completely honest, with these little sphere things can get really annoying. It feels like they just keep lobbing the same lame elements at you, you know, one after another. I just, the animations actually are what annoy me the most. It's not like they do that much damage, it's just, ugh. Nostrum, womp womp. So the waist pad must be its rare steel. Or at least I think it is. Alright. Bunch more nostrums. Won't be long and we will be maxed out on those. Alright, oh, yeah, alright. So here you run off the right side, and you'll float or slide down to this, this spot. And there's the beta carotene. So again, I believe Janice is the only one that can equip that weapon. It should be her best. But if you're not using her, you can always break that down, and that'll break down into a rainbow shell, probably like one or two other, you know, a mithril or a copper or something like that, and then one of each of the shiny materials. So you could actually basically take that and make it into something else. So, you know, if you're short on shiny materials or something, or you just, you know, again, don't find any use for that weapon as is, you can just break it down and make it into something else. Alright, so we're finally making some headway here, or maybe it feels the opposite. Maybe it feels like we're back at square one, but here, obviously, we're making a path back to the central area, and I'm actually going to run all the way back outside and save. Again, I don't know that I was necessarily worried about this next boss fight, because, to be honest, I don't really feel like any of the boss fights here are all that difficult. Maybe the final one, but even then, it's not that bad. It's more of an endurance fight, I guess I would say. But the rest of these aren't very difficult, though. The next guy we've actually got coming up is the red elemental, which I think is the Pyrotor. And I would say it's probably a good idea to equip, if you've got Fargo or a blue innate character with you, equip that red plate on them. Obviously, it will not only, well, it won't reduce the damage that it does with its red elements, but it will absorb those elements as HP instead, which obviously is a huge boon for this fight. So again, I would say that's a really good idea. That would be my recommendation anyway, which I'm not sure if I actually do or not. Again, it's probably one of those do as I say, not as I do kind of deals, but we'll see. We will see. You can see I've got a bunch of the characters, level 7 techs still in my inventory. I get a bit OCD with how each character's grid looks. And so I always line up the level 3, 5, and 7 techs so that they're all in like the same row. And that isn't always possible right when you get those techs. So I usually end up, leaving them in my, I don't know if you call it element inventory, but, I always end up waiting and equipping them later once those characters have their grids kind of built appropriately. But anyways, here it is. This is, again, the Pyrotor. Many have bled, suffered, and perished. Okay. It is your turn to die. Dark. I don't think it's our turn to die, though, buddy. I got news for you. And you are not going to like this news. Same deal with this guy as, I'll be completely honest, most of these battles play out really the same way. They'll, some of them use a buff where they'll, buff themselves. Some of them debuff you. And then they all generally have like their Omega skill, which in this case it's Omega Red, and that'll do quite a bit of damage typically. But I always try to steal, again, every single one of these has a brooch other than the blue one, and I'll actually probably speak about, why not, we've got time. The blue brooch, and actually I probably mentioned this a long time ago in one of the really early videos. There's only actually one blue brooch per playthrough. I've actually read that I forget the blue, actually I think it's called the Aquator. It actually ends up being the very last of these, like, specifically colored elemental things. I don't know a better way to say that. But he's actually the last one that you end up fighting, and he does not have a brooch, or she, whichever it is. But it's got the charm instead. So, basically all of these, Terrator, Pyrotor, Aquator, whatever, so on and so forth. All of these guys in here, essentially all the bosses, have the brooch as the common steel, and then it has the charm as their rare steel, which is ironic because the brooches are actually better. Oh, boom! Knocked out. All right, let's get him back alive. That's what happens when you're lazy, like me. I just noticed Fargo and Glenn have the exact same amount of HP. It's kind of crazy. That won't last forever. But anyways, so yeah, it's kind of weird. They've all got the brooch, other than Aquator. My impression on Aquator is Aquator does not have a brooch, period. So, I've never, I guess, tested it out and tried to steal, over and over and over to try to get a brooch instead out of it. But I have, just in my recent playthroughs, I've probably defeated it, I don't know, probably close to 10 times, and I never got a brooch as a steal from it. I always only got the sea charm. So I've read in multiple locations that there is only one blue brooch per game. Now, why is that? My impression is, again, it's actually because of the sapphire brooch that Orla gives you in order to recruit her. That sapphire brooch actually transforms into the blue brooch later on in the game. And I think there's now I'm not 100% sure, but my guess is they made some sort of programming error with that, and kind of made it so that you can't get those somewhere else. So it was either programming error or some sort of oversight. To be honest, I feel like that sapphire brooch should have maybe stayed as the sapphire brooch and had a kind of stayed in your inventory as a key item instead of transforming into the blue brooch, because it just really doesn't make sense the way that it ends up transforming into that blue brooch, and thus you can only actually have one blue brooch in the game. So Again, I guess that's my take on it. I feel like it shouldn't have ended up being that way. You know, whether it was programming error, oversight, or bug, who knows? I don't really know. But again, I feel like it shouldn't have ended up playing out that way. But it does. So we just kind of have to deal with it. Now the good thing I guess about it is, I'll be completely honest. I don't use a whole lot of the brooches anyway. The only one I really consider all that useful is the red brooch. And that's just because of, and I've actually mentioned this in a couple of the other videos, that red status effect that it causes kind of like confusion where your characters start attacking each other. That one is the most detrimental status effect I feel in the entire game. Yeah, sure, some of them are a little annoying. The white one, makes it so that you can't actually fully use your stamina, or your abilities actually cost more stamina than they normally do. The black one reduces your accuracy. That one can be actually pretty annoying too. But again, that red one, I feel like that's the worst one anyway. And the blue one is like flu, and I don't know, that's not that big of a deal. So, anyways, we've got our... And there's Redfield. I actually forgot to mention this earlier on in the game too. When we defeated the Terrator, we got the yellow field. And so there's going to be a field color for yellow, green, red, and blue. There is no field turn elements for white or black, unfortunately. And again, I've actually mentioned that in the other videos too. So what does that really mean? It just means that white and black summons are a little bit more difficult to pull off. You can still do it if you know what you're doing. And again, to be completely honest, it's not that difficult. Ooh, Stardust Cape. Okay, nice. But the red, blue, yellow, and green summons are much easier to pull off because of those field elements. Basically, what they do is you use it, and then boom, the field is entirely filled up with that color. So extremely easy to then immediately cast a summon with another character. So very, very useful elements to have. And yeah, you can make some really good use out of those. Now, I am going to save here after we obtain, I think this is a heal, excuse me, heal all, or is this a heal plus? Heal plus, even better. Okay, so that's a green element, very, very useful. But anyways, I am running out of time here. I'm probably going to just actually run over to where we fought the Pyrotor at and save. And we'll continue the walkthrough from there, hopefully. Anyways, I hope this guide was helpful, and hope you guys join me for more. All right, thanks for watching.